fursuits. Now, it should of course be no secret that I love myself a nice high quality fursuit. However, in order to get a high quality fursuit, you need good parts. Now, I'm sure that if you care about fursuits to really any degree whatsoever, you've heard of the very controversial Likwid Sunshine designs. Yeah. These are made by them. I'm gonna be honest here, I almost feel like I should explain why I decided to pick up a pair of paws from these guys because of their reputation. I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of the drama surrounding them because we really do. we don't have time for that one. But I will talk about why I decided to pick up a pair of paws from them anyway, and if I'm being honest, it's pretty simple. You see that? That right there is a good old photo of me at Boston Comic-Con, where I was shooting as Rosie for the first time. My first full suit, and everything was made by me, and it was all good and great. Yeah! However, there was one tiny problem. You see, I managed to lose one of my paws on the con floor, and somebody stole it. I wish I were joking. Now, of course, I still have the other paw somewhere here. I have no idea where it is. But the fact of the matter is that one of my paws was gone, and of course, you know, why would I just make a new one? Let's just commission a pair, why not? So I was scrolling through Etsy, as you do, looking at fursuit paws because, you know, that's a totally reliable place to find fursuit parts, when I stumbled across these good old bubble paws by Likwid Sunshine Design. And I thought, those don't look too bad. So let's actually start out with the positives. Oh, positives in a Likwid Sunshine video? No, I'm not having it. Well, you're gonna have to get used to it because actually, these really aren't that bad, honestly. Especially considering Likwid Sunshine's rep. The biggest positive, at least for me, would have to be the fur. Now, of course, you're probably thinking, well, yeah, it's just fur, you tell them the right color and then off they go, right? And yeah, that is true, but you have to consider the fact that not only were these paws created for an existing full suit, these paws were created for an existing full suit that has a very interesting color choice as its primary color, that being pewter. Now, pewter is sort of like a black-brown color, and it's kind of specific because I haven't been able to find pewter fur that looks like this, except for the Shannon Fabrics pewter fur. So I sent Likwid Sunshine a link to it and said, hey, use this. It's what I want. And they did. They used the exact fur that I asked for, which was honestly surprising considering not only their reputation, but the fur got delayed? They didn't exactly give me the details on what happened, but these took a really long time for them to make because for some reason Fabric.com didn't ship the fur at first. So they presumably they spent some time working with Fabric.com trying to get this fur. And it worked out. They used the fur I asked for, so that's very nice. Now, of course, with this being a review of a fursuit part, we gotta talk about that fit, and let me tell ya, it fits like a glove. One thing I do definitely have to give props for is how incredibly dexterous these are. Like, holy shit, look at that. You do not get this amount of movement from puffy paws, I tell ya. Talking about the fit, however, is the perfect segue to get into the negatives. The wrists are pretty short. I mean, like, they could have at least made the hem, like, black or something so that it matches, but they made it white. Why? Now, obviously, this is something that doesn't particularly annoy me, but it is still a great segue to the negatives, so, yeah, let's do that. So first of all, I want to talk about these paw pads. Now, they did use white minky just like I asked, but, well, they weren't like this when I first got these paws. You see, one of the big selling points of bubble paws like these is that the pads are stuffed. All of the promotional pictures have it, but mine weren't stuffed. I had to do this after I got them, and honestly that was incredibly concerning because when I unboxed these, I was actually scared that I got ripped off. It really wasn't until I got them out of the box that I realized that yes, this is exactly what I bought. But even then, it wasn't exactly, because a little fact about red pandas is that they have fairly large claws that are always out. Now, they have these claws so that they can climb easier because, you know, they're red pandas. They climb around and shit like that. And of course, with Rosie being a red panda, I asked for white claws. And, I don't exactly see any. Now, of course, I messaged them about this, and, well, they haven't exactly responded, so, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get claws installed on these anytime soon, unless I do it myself. Now, of course, these two issues aren't that big of a deal, because as a fursuit maker myself, I can fix them. Except for, you know, that little thing right there, you know, that one was my fault, honestly. But for the most part, I can fix the issues with these paws. You know, how to create stuffed pads? Well, it's easy. You just gotta turn her inside out. If you can get it. There we go. You just gotta turn her inside out, and then got a hole, and then just fill it with stuffing. And then eventually sew it back up, because I forgot to do that. And claws are even easier. You just gotta pattern a claw shape, sew it on the machine, and then hand sew it in. You're done. But the fact that these two things are so easy is honestly insulting, because why couldn't Likwid Sunshine have done this? They're a much more professional maker than I am, and I could do this. Of course, the only other issue with these paws is this right here, which apparently I need to re-sew. This was a popped seam right from day one. Now, I choose not to blame Likwid Sunshine for this because it's a popped seam. It happens to everybody, honestly. It's, you know, it's not their fault. But around this time, I also commissioned another pair of paws from Pets Are My Peeps, also on Etsy, and they feral. Now, to be totally honest, I wasn't exactly expecting 5-finger feral paws because all of the pictures had 4 fingers, and then I was never asked, so, you know, it's not a huge deal. It's accurate to an actual red panda, so it doesn't bother me. But look at this thing! The pads are gorgeous and perfect, and the fur is exactly the one I wanted to be used, and look at those claws, my goodness! Even the hem is nice. It's made out of like a black minky, I think, and it's nice, small, discreet, and the wrists are long enough to perfectly mesh with my full suit. Even the lining is fantastic. Like, I'll take these off for 2 minutes, and then the lining will be freezing cold. It's insane how good this lining is. And it's so perfectly integrated. Like, look at how clean that stitching is. And that's, of course, in direct comparison to the Likwid Sunshine paw's lack of lining. But no, that's not a mistake. That's a feature, because if with lining, you wouldn't be able to just come up here and shit. You wouldn't be able to take out these. Now, if you're wondering what this is the pillow that acts as the stuffing for the finger. Why you can take these out is a complete mystery to me, honestly. But now it's time for the real comparison. We got here one of my favorite paws ever, made by the lovely Opal Studios. And then we're gonna be pitting that one up against the Likwid Sunshine design paw. And of course, we're gonna be pitting these two up against the Pets Are My Peeps paws. Now, I'm essentially going to do mini reviews of all 3 of these. And I know I'm reviewing these ones, but just shut up. I'm going to do mini reviews of these paws and tell you a little bit about them, and then I want you to try and guess which ones are the most expensive. I commissioned these paws, I think, almost a year ago by this point, and they are by far my favorite paws. Opal Studios did a fantastic job on these paws, and they even were able to source the exact minky that I wanted used. Now, of course, the shaving wasn't flawless when I first got them. There were a lot of weird, loose fibers all around here, but that was easy to fix. All you need is a good pair of scissors. But other than that, these paws are fantastic. They're nice, fluffy, big, and admittedly they're not as dexterous as the LSD, but I don't really mind. The hem isn't as perfect as other paws I've seen, but it doesn't really bother me. And of course, these paws are lined as well. Now, the lining isn't as nice as Pets Are My Peeps, but hey, doesn't bother me. Next up, we've got the Pets Are My Peeps paws, which are probably the highest quality paws I own. These are beautiful 5-finger paws, which take up a lot more material, especially since you have the extra pad, and the extra claw, and the extra stuffing, and the extra lining, and the extra designing, and all the extra... It's extra. Now, of course, we've already talked about this paw quite a bit, so I'm not going to talk about it much more, but everything on this paw is beautiful. Exact fur I want it to be used, meshes perfectly with the bodysuit, shaving is nice, the lining is perfect, the stitching is clean and beautiful, and these are really nice. The only thing I don't like about them is the fact that they're 5-finger paws, but even then, these have honestly grown on me because they're accurate to an actual red panda, so, good job, maker. And finally, we got the Likwid Sunshine design paw. These paws are pretty nice with the exception of the fact that they don't have claws despite the fact that I asked for them, and the pads are not stuffed despite the fact that that is literally a feature. Other than that, these paws are actually pretty nice. They use the fur I wanted, the pads are the right color, they're very dexterous, they're very comfortable. Admittedly, the lack of lining isn't a favorite of mine, but I can maybe understand why they didn't do it. The only thing that really bothers me about the hem is the fact that it looks hand-sewn. Now, no shade to people who hand-sew things, you guys have a lot more dedication than me, but come on, you gotta admit that hand-sewing isn't as secure as machine sewing, right? So, after all that, here we have all 3 paws, and I want you to take a guess at which one's the most expensive ones. Now, of course, I'm willing to bet that most of you are gonna guess, is it the Pets Are My Peeps ones? Because, I mean, think about it. It's extra work to add the extra finger, they're much more stylized than just your standard circular, cute, puffy paws, and they're just overall super nice. Well, what if I told you that this entire time I've been lining the paws up by price? That's right. The Obel Studio paws are the cheapest, at just $100. The Pets Are My Peeps paws are next at $120. And the Likwid Sunshine design paws are sitting at a whopping $325. Are you kidding me? Considering everything we've talked about relating to these paws, and of course the other paws that I own, I can't really recommend these. While I like them and I believe that they have their strengths and I will definitely be using them in the future, I can't recommend them because of their price, and because of the maker. I'll admit that I didn't really see the ugly side of LSD beyond them just ignoring me, and I'm thankful for that, but I can't ignore everything they've done in the past. And let's be honest here, dexterity is only gonna get you so far with these. I mean, it's not like you're really gonna be trying to reliably use your iPod or anything. Oh, I got it. My point is that having dexterity in puffy paws isn't really gonna get you very far because, I mean, let's be real here, when you're buying a pair of puffy paws, you're basically signing away your ability to hold stuff. Cause, like, let's be honest here, if you own puffy paws, the most you're gonna be holding is like a big plush, which you don't need dexterity to hold. Dexterity is really only useful if you're trying to do specific hand gestures, but considering the fact that you have 4 big ol' fingies, you ain't gonna do much. And don't even get me started on the price. As I've established earlier, I make my own stuff. There is no reason why their paws should be $325. So ultimately, don't buy these.